Missouri will celebrate its 200th anniversary of statehood in 2021. There will be celebrations across the state in honor of the Bicentennial, along with plenty of events to commemorate our history. And a new book just hit shelves in time for Father's Day to give us a unique perspective on our history. It's called Missouri, an illustrated timeline, 200 years of heroes and rogues, heartbreak and triumph by John Brown. Yes, that John Brown.
Hi.
Hello there.
Good morning.
Don't call you a historian, though, yet this is your 6th history book, John. Explain that.
Well, I say I'm not a historian because to me a historian is somebody who teaches this stuff, they're in a university setting or just really knows it. To me, I'm just a guy who lived in 20 different towns in Missouri. Somewhere along the way started keeping a list of famous people. That became my first book, with which Missouri Legends. And then as we were approaching the Bicentennial, my publisher, Reedy Press, said, hey, let's do something in a timeline format, and that's what we came up with. And it showcases the good, the bad, the ugly, all these parts of our history that make the Show Me State unique. That's what we tried to put out here.
And I mean, the timeline, you start from the early 1800s to this year. And what did you learn in writing in this type of format?
Well, I think a lot of times we compartmentalize history, where we think during the Great Depression, everybody was out of a job, and that's not true. Civil War era, 1860s, everybody thinks it was just all enveloped in the war, but that's not true. What you find out is when you put it in a timeline format, very diverse things happen. At the same time that St. Louis University was coming up with their medical school, Mizzou was coming up with an engineering school, you had Jesse James robbing trains just a few miles away. When you put it in a timeline format, you think it's hard to believe that all these things happened at the same time, but that's what you learn, is there are some really unique and interesting things that happen at the same time. We just don't realize they were at the same time in history.
Yeah, so it sounds like a lot of moments stood out to you. Anything in particular that you maybe see in a different light now?
Well, one thing in particular, I know you lived in Jefferson City. I grew up in Jefferson City. I never knew the history of Jefferson City. We're the only state in the country that actually invented a town to be the seat of government. It was called Missouriopolis, and nobody lived there. So I thought that was interesting, but also seeing how the state grew. We have all these strange roads. St. Louis is built in this kind of it looks like a spider web. Well, that's the way the whole state grew, out these trails. And as you plot the cities and towns and the big things that happen in those towns, you see it was just out these trails, and that's why we have such a weird system, how we've set up the transportation here in St. Louis. That caught my attention too. Yeah,
I got to ask you this, JB. I mean, in this time of COVID-19, you didn't include the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic. Why?
Well, I wrote it. But then we left it out of the book because we had to find things, that were all spaced out on this timeline. 1918, same time the troops were coming home. And I also say it was my arrogance that I didn't include it, because as I put the book together, I thought, oh, we've conquered that. We'll never see another pandemic, yet here we are.
Right.
So I think what you can learn here is that some of these issues in here in the book, you think, oh, we've conquered that issue, we've moved past it, but we really haven't. And we're seeing that again just before our Bicentennial.
Yeah, you literally had to stop the presses early. Why was that? What happened?
Well, because I had written up the St. Louis Blues winning the Stanley Cup, and then as we went to press, it was 2 weeks before the Super Bowl with the Chiefs. And I thought, if I put the Blues in here but don't include the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm done on the other side of the state. So I wrote 2 versions of the Kansas City Chiefs losing and the Kansas City Chiefs winning. And then that moment when you hit send to the editor again, or the publisher, when you're like, make sure you send the right one. So we stopped the press to see what would happen with the Super Bowl. Then once that happened, we got back into press. So we got everything all the way up until that point.
We love it. The author is John Brown. Check out the book, signed copies, MissouriLegends.com. Thank you so much, JB.
All right, see you later.